What's up guys, Phoenix here. This video is going to be another DevPro Duel video on Ranked, and this time we're going to be going back and doing some of the time-honored tradition that is me playing with the Dragunity deck. I absolutely love this deck. For those of you that are aware, and those of you that aren't, I always just get an itch to scratch, and when I have to scratch that itch, it usually involves me playing some form of Dragunity variant. Now, this build is very combo-oriented, utilizing, multiple Garudas, multiple Baby Rocks. I cut it down from 3 to 2 that it was in the past build, simply because while it is a combo card, it is also, a very bricky card, even though you do want to see it very often, because being able to use Gaderg mid-combo to, have a Baby Rock in hand, add Garuda, and then discard Baby Rock, that essentially amounts to, like, a +2, because you just generate, like, 2 cards out of, like, nothing. Like, you get to keep the Baby Rock, and it summons itself, and then you also generate a Garuda, which allows you to go into some certain other things. Just standard-ish. I just ended up cutting one of the Baby Rocks and just playing, other cards like Call of the Haunteds, which are recovery cards, because honestly the main point of this deck is to make, rank 8s in the form of Titanic Galaxy, as well as to make things like Stardust and Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Now, I'm not playing Scrap Dragon in this build. I'm playing a Triad Dragon, which I've almost never made, actually, but I do make it, like, occasionally, and when I do make it, it's always, like, just to seal a game and it's a game shot. Stuff like that. Like, this build is definitely not something that I would consider that I put a lot of thought or time into, but I've definitely put some thought into it. My favorite thing about this build, particularly in the combo that it performs, which, the combo in question being Ravine Phalanx Instant Fusion or Ravine Phalanx Mistleton Garuda plus a Baby Rock in hand, stuff like that. There's multiple different variations of the combo, but the most basic one is Ravine Phalanx Instant Fusion, and it ends with an Atom, Titanic Galaxy, Red Med at 2800, and either a Crystal Wing, an Omega, or a Stardust, whichever one you want to choose to leave on the board, based off, any knowledge you might know of the matchup, things you might want to do, stuff like that. The thing that I enjoy the most about that combo is the fact that, like, even though, like, your board can be broken, like, with cards like Soul Charge and Call of the Haunted, you have things like Titanic Galaxy, which is a dragon and doesn't require materials to activate its effect, and then you have, Stardust and Crystal Wing. Specifically, like, Crystal Wing in general, you're able to, like, call the Haunted Red Med and then use it to bring back either Hope Harbinger to negate effects of spell cards, and then you could also just bring back Crystal Wing, which negates monster effects. Like, it's very high utility, what you can do with, like, Call the Haunted and stuff, and I really actually like it. But basically, this deck is extremely combo-oriented. Triple Max C in case I do go second, or in case, I just want to have a card that's really good against certain decks when I do go first and make this combo. If I'm able to back it up with a Max C in hand, it's a huge deterrent for certain decks. Double Dragon's Bind because it's not the best against Cosmo right now, so honestly I don't see a reason to play 3 of it. Emptiness is just better as the third copy. But usually whatever combo you can perform either puts out like a Stardust Dragon, or usually it leaves an Atom on the board and you're able to use Dragon's Bind on Atom. There should probably be a Stardust Spark Dragon in this extra deck, but this extra deck is incredibly tight because of the fact that you need double Atom, and, like, Ptolemy is a very, very handy recovery piece. You need a Red Wyvern because of the fact that Baby Rock isn't a Dragon Tuner, which honestly sucks for me. It's absolutely the worst. But I digress. Like, there's just a lot of, like, combo potential in this deck, and it's one of my favorite decks to just sit down in solitaire with, and whenever I get that itch, I have to scratch it for a video, so I just felt like doing it for this one, so that I could just have something that goes up today, along with whatever other video I decide to film to go up today. So, anyway, enough rambling, let's just jump into the game that I get, whichever one that ends up being. Alright, so let's see what we have to work here, starting with, do we win rock, paper, scissors? We do not. Shit. Which means, well, we've got Max C, so there's that. And I am going second. This isn't one of those weird people that's going to let me go first. But this hand is absolutely unplayable going first anyway, so... Normal Summon Scarm. Okay, so I'm playing against BA, so as soon as he reveals something, I get to just, do Max C. Now, if he pushes through Beatrice, that is still going to be a problem. I'm still going to get, like, 3 draws, but I'm still going to be in a very kind of terrible situation in that he's going to have Beatrice with a Farfa under it. So there is that. So, okay, so he's making Dante here. Okay, still completely not playable. If I draw 3 cards and I still am completely unplayable, that's going to absolutely be terrible. Okay, so he milled a Farfa and an Alec. So, at this point, my hand is set up to do some... Okay, so he's just detaching for, Scarm to get its effect. So, no Beatrice. That's fine. So I could draw Phalanx, I could draw Terraforming, Ravine, I could even draw Divine Lance. I've got a solid, like, 10 cards in my deck that I could draw and make this very good. And if he Max sees me, I'm just going to push through it and kill him. There's Divine Lance. Alright, we can actually make this work. I've got the red mid in my hand, which kind of sucks, but it will allow me to do some things with Zephyros, because I'll be able to use Zephyros and bounce a Phalanx and then Cards of Constance it away. So, we will go with that. So I'm going to normal summon this Dux, I'm going to put Divine Lance on it, and this is one of very few situations where me going second is going to be, like, yielding a reward, because I just get to kill him now. I actually might just be able to do Trident Dragon plus, like, Hope Harbinger, stuff like that. I've got to basically do enough to where this Farfa doesn't actually do anything, so I've got to actually make Crystal Wing, but if I kill the Dante, the Farfa is going to trigger, and then Dante's going to trigger, so you can definitely make it to where both of them happen. So the issue is I've got to bounce Dante and then still have enough on board for 8,000, which I can do with 3 monsters, so that's actually going to be relatively simple as far as that goes, because I've got Instant Fusion, which means I can do Instant Fusion Norden. I can do a lot of different plays here in these sorts of little setups. So what I can do is I can make Vajrayana and do all that nonsense. Do I want to go for the Instant Fusion Soul Charge play and then save the Mistletoe for later? That's actually probably exactly what has to happen. Just so that I make sure that I can clear this, let the Farfa do its thing, and then I'll be able to follow that with Instant Fusion or the Red Mid or something like that. So this is what's going to happen. Since I've got the Red Mid in my hand, that means I can summon Leviathan straight out of my deck, just off the first one. So there is that, so we'll go with this Instant Fusion play here. For Norden, we'll get back Dux, I'll be able to make Gatorg, and then I'll be able to add and discard. I'll be able to add and discard the Baby Rock first, that way I can make Red Eyes Wyvern, and then I can just make, do I have a Scrap Dragon in this extra deck? I do not. Okay, so this is instead of Scrap Dragon, which is probably incorrect in this build, but what I can do is I can make Ptolemy, and I can use Ptolemy to bounce his Dante, and then that'll trigger his Farfa. He'll definitely want to Farfa something. So, we can actually go with that. So what I can do is I can make this to add Baby Rock and discard Baby Rock, and that'll special summon itself. I can make a Red Wyvern, and then because of that, I'll be able to overlay these two into Ptolemy, but I actually want to do that probably later, in fact. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this first. I'm going to overlay these here, and then I'm going to make my Red Wyvern, because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to establish a way to summon this Darkness Metal first, because what I'll be able to do is I'll just be able to do Darkness Metal to Trident Dragon after I clear this. So it's absolutely not nearly as complicated as I'm making it seem like it is, but we're going to work with it. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to attach this. I'm going to summon Leviathan out of the deck. And then Leviathan is going to get back Phalanx, which I can then tribute for Mistletoe. And then I'll be able to overlay Mistletoe and the Wyvern to get back, to put his Dante back in the extra deck off of Ptolemy. If this all fails, then I still just have a Soul Charge I can fall back on, but I don't really want to fall back on that. If we're being 100% clear and 100% real, if he had made Beatrice, this would be a lot harder, because he would basically have just been able to Farfa my Ducks away when I equipped the Lance to it, and that would have definitely just been a problem for me. But as it stands now, it's almost guaranteed that I can actually drop this Red Med, because no matter what he bounces with the Farfa, I'm going to be guaranteed to have a dragon to drop with the Red Med. And so, if he doesn't Farfa this or this, then we're going to be fine. Because if he Farfas either of these, then I'll just be able to banish one of these for Red Med and keep going. So he's banishing the Phalanx, which is perfectly fine. Actually 100% fine, because what I get to do is I get to special off of a Tum, I get to summon this, and then I get to use this to bring back Gatorg, add and discard Zephyros, and then from there I get to bounce this, make another Atum, summon another Phalanx out of the deck. So, like I said, the safety net was extremely large for what I was able to do. So, we'll add this, we'll discard this, and then we will use it, and I can actually... Okay, so he's just surrendering. This is actually... I can actually just bounce this for Zephyros, and that's game right there. So, we can just work with that one as well. So, I guess I'll just call it there, because I don't think there's any point in me going back in for another video. So, yeah, like, if he had just made Beatrice, at the point that he made Dante, he should have just made Beatrice, and that's one of the things that I've found when I'm playing the BA deck, is that if you get max seed, you kind of have to force your way into the Beatrice, give them the extra card, because Beatrice is so powerful in what it does. It floats into another card if it's killed. It is a trap card in the essence that he gets to, use Alec, he gets to use Farfa, and those are both very good against my deck in particular, because he can either Farfa the ducks away, or he can just Alec my ducks, and the phalanx will fall off of it. So there's multiple different things that just make it like beneficial for him to make the Beatrice, but he didn't make the Beatrice, and thus I got rewarded for it, because I literally had like 2 or 3 different ways to actually kill him after I triggered his Farfa to do something to get my phalanx off the board. So him banishing my phalanx, I had a very big safety net in terms of what I could have banished. I could have banished Leviathan, but I would have had an Atum that couldn't attack on the board, so I might as well just banish that. Get this, do all of these different things. In fact, instead of even adding and discarding Zephyros, I could have just added and discarded the second Baby Rock and then made Crystal Wing here, and then that would have been 3k, 27, and 28. Multiple different things, but there was multiple different ways to OTK here, but I was just going with the Trident Dragon route just because, like, might as well, right? But interestingly enough, I guess that's as pretty much as standard as I can go with my combo strings here. But anyway, that's going to be it. I'm going to call it there. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to all the nonsense you usually do. Links are in the description to my Facebook pages. If you want to check those out, feel free to do so. If you want to send a deck list for me to possibly play in the future, or even if you want to send like a replay or something, and maybe I can start commentating over replays that you guys send me, you can send those to my Facebook page as well. DevPro replays only, though, because I don't want to download any other YGOpro softwares. So there is that. But other than that, as always, guys, as Vari said, thanks for watching. If you want to support me, clicking ads on my videos and disabling ad block and view my videos is the best way to do so. Helps me out a lot, and I'd be greatly appreciative of you if that's something you could take the time out of your day to do. If you have an ad block enabled, if you could take a few seconds out of your day, disable your ad block, refresh the video, click an ad or two, and then re-enable your ad block when you're done. It takes seconds out of your day, takes no money out of your pocket, and helps me out so very much. I cannot express how much it would help me out, nor how much of my eternal gratitude you would have, and it would be so cool of you if that's something you could take time out of your day to do. But other than that, that's it for this video, as I've already said, and as always, guys, take care.